We've talked a lot over the years about the Oilers goaltender Grant Fuhr being the best, and he sure showed us in that period, Ron Rouge.
Well, you know, you live in the East, you don't get to see him the 60 or 65 games a year that he plays, or 40, 45 games with Andy Moog out in Edmonton. But, well, I'll tell you, he's showing the whole nation right here just the way he can play goal. You know, we also had a shot of Ron Hextall sitting on the bench. They have been very, very close friends throughout this thing. Almost inseparable. Talk to each other, talking goaltending and so on. And I think that Ron Hextall's on that bench cheering on Grant Fuhr as hard as anybody in this building. And the goal scorer in the game right there. He's playing a pretty good game too. It seems to be picking up his pace a little bit. He looked a little out of place in the first game back, but Glenn Anderson, his first of the tournament, Mario Lemieux sent him up.
Here we go with the second period. Messier winning a face-off from Larionov, and Canada control with Crossman feeding it to Bourque. Back to Doug Crossman, number 2. Messier flipping it down the ice, and Larionov, number 11, going back to pick it up. Leaves it for Kasatonov, and he just fires it down the left side. Fuhr out of the net. Lets it go, and as Bourque plays it, it's icing. Good heads-up play there by Fuhr. He would have played it if he had to, but when he knew Bourque was there, he just let it go, and thus gets the icing call.
Well, there's Raymond Bourque. You know, a guy we're not going to see a lot of, number 12. You just saw him skate through your picture, but is playing a great game tonight is Mike Gartner. Gartner has the job tonight of looking after Krutov, and he is shutting him down completely. I don't think you've seen much of Krutov at all, but Gartner, who is, as we mentioned the last telecast, the veteran of international play, close to 50 international games playing for Canada, more than any other Canadian. He's playing a great game.
Here's Makarov, number 24, trying to break in. It's tied up by Bourque, and now Canada, Crossman having difficulty, or it's Anderson having difficulty. Bourque is there to cover up, gives it to Crossman, and Crossman feeds it into Messier. Broken up, and then it's offside at the Soviets' blue line. This is the Labatt Canada Cup on CTV.
Well, the history of these two teams has been one of very, very close games in the Canada Cup. In 1984, that terrific overtime game won by Mike Bossy. We've had other ones we'll tell you about as we go on here.
Here's Sutter to Howard Chuck as Canada's on the attack. Broken up and cleared around by the Soviets, and Gusarov, number 3, takes over. Howard Chuck trying to hold it in. Homatov covering up. Gretzky held it in with a good play at the blue line. In comes Sutter. Gretzky follows up. Tried to center. Gretzky still after it. Beckhoff tied him up. Now Sutter in front of the net. He gets taken out of the play, and Gusarov feeds it into center ice. Here come the Soviets. Homatov trying to flip it through. Beckhoff is there, but Hartsburg pokes it to Paul Coffey. Shot it into center ice. Stolen there by Gretzky. Leaves for Sutter. Back to Gretzky. Gretzky shot right on. Bellows shaking a glove save. And he held on to it for a faceoff.
A little bit of a mistake made at the blue line there by Stelnov, number 4, as it led to a scoring chance at the side of the net. Glove save made by Bellows-Shakin, who is in and out of the favor of people in the Soviet Union who coach this team. There's a look at this afternoon's games, which has paved the way to what's happening tonight. And this game, of course, is for first place. And there are the standings. Now, the Soviet Union loses tonight. They will be playing the third place team, Sweden, the team they lost to. The idea is to make the playoffs, the final round, which is a best of 3. There's sudden death up to that time. Soviets would like to win this game just to avoid Sweden, who has beaten them in the World Hockey Championship last spring and in this tournament.
So the United States and Finland are eliminated from the playoff rounds. Here's Rochefort for Canada. Shot. Mario Lemieux poked it in front. Now cleared away, and Svetlov gets it to Semyonov. He's checked. Svetlov again. Now dropping it to Fedotov. He flips it in. Claude Lemieux can't clear it. Mario Lemieux does. Claude Lemieux to Anderson. Glenn Anderson, who has the goal for Canada. Breaking in, try to drop pass. Soviets come right back the other way. Lomakin to Semyonov. Shooting. Side of the net. They score! Tipped in by Svetlov, number 16. as he went cruising by the net. And Svetlov ties it at 1-1.
Well, that was a bank shot because he was behind the net and he looked like he put it off the back of Fuhr and got turned around. Watch him as he comes to the side of the net. Here comes the shot, and that just deflected in. Now, I'm not sure who exactly. Fuhr, that was a little quicker than we really wanted to see it, but that was a bank shot. Fuhr trying to scramble across the goal mouth area, and it's in the net. Svetlov is going to get the goal, and we've got a tie hockey game.
Sergei Svetlov gets the goal to tie it. It's 1-1. Now Fetisov in the Soviet zone. Trying to stick handle out, works it out onto right wing, and fired over by Semyonov. Now into the corner after it. It's dropped back. Kasatonov a drive. That deflects wide. And here's Doug Gilmore for Canada, flipping it to center ice. Kasatonov back to get it, number 7. To Nemchinov. Now into center ice. A pass to Himalev. He was checked. Canada with Brian Propp controlling. Propp dropping it, and here comes Crossman to Bork. Bork to Propp. Propp with a quick wrist shot. Beloshakin clears it away. Held in by Canada. Kasatonov back of his own net. Clears it out. And Himalev flips it ahead at center. Racing after it. Pryakin, number 22. Pryakin centered. Wide open. Fuhr. Big save on Fetisov. And Canada quickly clear it. Fetisov was in all alone, and Fuhr beat him. Here's Kasatonov. Kasatonov dropping it. Larionov moves in. Krutov trying to center. Good defensive play there to break up a 2-on-1 by Doug Crossman. He clears to Gardner. Gardner in with Messier. Gardner trying to get a shot off. He was tied up at the last second. Now Messier. And Anderson in front, couldn't get it to him in time, and Larionov has it for the Soviets. Number 11, Igor Larionov. Into center ice for Makarov. Makarov trying to leave it for Krutov. Now Larionov trailing. Cuts in, but he was checked, and Hartsburg fires it to center. Stelnov, number 4. Stick handling beautifully. Leads a Soviet rush to Makarov. Back in front, a shot, they score! Deflected in by Krutov at the side of the net. And the Soviets lead 2-1. And there's Vladimir Krutov that we talked about perhaps being the Soviets' best earlier.
Well, he gets a great pass from Makarov, who goes in deep. Now that's Krutov jamming up in front of the net, and he just flipped it in. Now Gardner, whose job it is to look after Krutov, had gone to the bench. He had completed his shift. He, of course, didn't want to tire himself out there and be at the tag end of his shift. Krutov stayed off, and he winds up with the goal in the Soviets. And for some reason, I just looked up, as a matter of fact, and the clock has not moved since the goal by Svetlov. So I don't know whether they have to put the hand timing. I just looked up to put the time of the goal down, and it still reads 1:32 or 18:28 remaining in the period.
Vladimir Krutov, 27-year-old veteran winger, has just given the Soviets the lead on a great setup by his longtime line mate Makarov.
Stelnov will draw the second assist. It's at 3:27 officially, but the clock has not moved. So the Cops Coliseum.
The clock hasn't moved, but the Soviets have, and they've moved in front 2-0. Here's Bekov trying to carry in. Now back comes Sutter. Lifted ahead for Gretzky. Gusarov, number 3, going back to pick it up. Gusarov. Checked by Howardchuk. Now it's flipped across. And the Soviets. Kamensky, number 13. Leaving for Gusarov. Fires it around on the boards. Brent Sutter into center. Here's Gretzky taking a swipe at it, but it was wide. And Stelnov carries back to Bekov. Homotov, number 15, picks it up and has to circle back. Homotov into center ice to Bekov. Over to Kamensky, but it's offside at Team Canada's blue line. This is the Labatt Canada Cup on CTV.
44 seconds left in the second period.
In Canada Cup play, Canada has lost to the Soviet Union just once, but it was that famous 1981 championship game in which the Soviets beat Canada 8-1. The game most memorable, I think, was the time that Krutov ate Guy Lafleur alive on a power play, scored an unassisted shorthanded goal that just completely finished Canada. Made the score 5-1 at that point.
Here's Canada on the attack, trying to center it. Tocchet, or Claude Lemieux it is, and he gets knocked down, got a shot off anyway. And the fans boo that here in Hamilton.
Claude Lemieux always looks like he's never going to get up. He went down, stayed there. He pays a fair price, and then at the same time, many believe he also puts on quite a show out there of paying a big price. He'll live, I think.
May have a few more teeth loosened, but here's Messier with Anderson and Gardner for Canada. Face off deep in the Soviet Union into the ring. Yemchinov on the face-off against Messier. And Yemchinov wins it. There's Anderson, a quick shot, though, and boy, a good glove save by Belashekin. He looked almost nonchalant, but he got that left hand out there in a hurry.
A good chance for Anderson, who's playing pretty well here tonight. He managed to reach in, get it in his skates, and then let it go, and he had it labeled. He was looking for the inside of that post.
Yemchinov and Messier again on the face-off. Again, Anderson getting it. Backhander hit Gardner. Gardner to the corner. Back of the net, Fetisov breaks it up. Fetisov up the middle, and the Soviets on the attack. Priakin trying to move in. Back checking was Glenn Anderson, and he controls for Canada. To Messier. He's bumped by Priakin, or by Yemchinov, who came over and gave him a jolt. Here's Fetisov to Kasatonov. Now to Priakin, number 22. To Fetisov. Kasatonov to Fetisov. Back to Kasatonov. Look at that twosome working out beautifully. And here's Priakin moving in offensively. Drops it to Fetisov. Back checking was Gardner. And Canada starts back. Crossman flipping it through. Larionov was there to shoot it out. Crossman for Team Canada to Gretzky. Tried to feed Brent Sutter. And it's knocked away. Kasatonov to Fetisov. That veteran twosome working out of their own zone well. Here's the forward line of Larionov, Makarov, and Krutov. Their best. Makarov out in front, bumped by Hartsburg, and never got the shot off. And it's cleared to center. Kasatonov leaving it for Krutov. Now to Makarov. Larionov picks it up. To Krutov, hopped over his stick. And Coffey is back for Canada to Gretzky. Gretzky trying to flip it through. Does get it in front. Back checking was Krutov, and the Soviets attack again. Krutov for Makarov. Cutting right in, Makarov wide of the net with that drive. Gretzky for Canada. Cleared it, Makarov holding it in. Makarov gets away from Coffey, who spun him around. And then Gretzky upended, and there'll be a penalty to Makarov on the play. Coffey on the delayed penalty carrying in. Coffey trying to center. And Belashekin made the save, and then we get a stoppage in play. And the Soviets are really upset about the penalty called to Makarov. This is the Labatt Canada Cup on CTV.
Makarov goes off for tripping at the 9:32 mark of the period. Got a chance to take a look at it. He's number 24 behind number 99. Reaches out, just touches Gretzky well enough to haul him down. Makarov didn't think he deserved a penalty, but you can see the fabric pull. And then down at the other end, Gilmore moving in just after the penalty on the delayed whistle. Up against the boards, and a little bit of a reap there from Larionov put him in the net.
Well, let's see what Canada can do on the power play. Makarov tripping, 6:45 the time, and it comes at an opportune time for Canada because the Soviets were really outskating Team Canada at this point.
One thing is very noticeable. This is the best I have seen Fetisov play in about 3 years. He is having a very, very good game out there. Kasatonov playing his usual steady type hockey, and that front line, including Larionov, who's got a bad back, but certainly Makarov and Karutov were really buzzing around that last shift.
Messier with Lemieux and Gretzky up front. Coffey and Bourque, the point man. Gretzky over to Bourque. Back to Coffey. Return to Bourque. To Paul Coffey. Into Gretzky. Shooting. Maloshakin kicks it up. Held in by Coffey. To Gretzky. Gretzky to Coffey. Coffey fakes from the point. Beats Gretzky. Across to Lemieux. Shot it wide. Gretzky again. To Lemieux. He fanned on it. Bourque has it at the point. Into Messier. Soviets clear it. Bourque held it into Coffey. Coffey loses. Bekov breaks away. Bourque gets back. Bekov leaving it for Homatov. And Bourque came over and played the man. It's kicked ahead from Messier to Lemieux to Gretzky. Bellow shaken away out of the net. And he goes right to the corner to grab that one. And Gretzky is thinking of the NHL when he says that should be a penalty, but not here in international rules.
Well, he's done it twice in this game, and clearly it would be a penalty in the National Hockey League. Perfectly legal. Yellow shaken, rather nomadic. Gretzky. The thing to do would be in the NHL, of course, to clear it. Well, if they can just simply stop the play. But the power play is looking pretty good right here, but they're going to have to get some shots on the net.
1:06 left in the penalty. We've had problems with the time clock here, so we have to wait for the PA announcer to give us the time left. And that's what the referee is doing now with the Team Canada bench and Mike Keenan. 1:06 left in the penalty. Noah is the referee.
He's pretty well put his whistle away. He's let an awful lot of stuff go in this game.
Gretzky and Fetisov, their respective captains, gather around Noah.
I don't know what all that's about. Fetisov's got some equipment problems. Obviously, some tape or something on his stick.
Ready for the face-off. As you look at the Soviets' captain, the veteran Fetisov. On the face-off, Semyonov against Messier. Messier gets the draw to Mario Lemieux to Raymond Bourque. Back to Lemieux. Now Bourque missed it and has to chase back. Bourque of the Boston Bruins. Head Manning to Messier. Into Mario Lemieux, cuts in, shoots, shot it wide. Gretzky in to get it. To Messier. Back to Gretzky. Gretzky fell. Soviets come up with it, and Semyonov carries out of there. Semyonov with Svetlov with him. To Svetlov, he scores! Svetlov on a low booming shot. A short-handed goal, and it's 3-1 for the Soviets.
Well, that's a bit of a shocker as they came out just on a seemingly ordinary 2-on-2. Worked a bit of a crossover here in the drop pass. And I think that, well, he let a great low shot go, but still, it's a stoppable kind of a shot. And it looked to me as if Fuhr may have blown the angle a little bit.
I thought it was just a rocket that Svetlov let go. That was the difference.
Well, that, in fact, it was a low shot as well. But it just seemed to me that Fuhr had got out a little, lost sight of his crease a little bit.
A short-handed goal, and the Soviets lead 3-1. Larry Murphy back to get it for Canada. Now to Doug Crossman. Crossman into center ice to Brian Propp. Propp shooting it in. And the Soviets take over. And Gusarov is there to clear it into center ice. Howardchuk back to get it. Now Makarov is back on. Soviets back at full strength. And they scored a short-handed goal in the bargain. Himalev feeding one on the left side to Nemchinov. He moves in, but made one move too many, and Howardchuk stolen from him. Number 10, Dale Howardchuk, trying to clear it in, carries in himself, centered. Oh, and Gartner shot it just wide. Great setup by Howardchuk, and Gartner just missed. Back come the Soviets. Himalev leaving it for Makarov, back to Himalev. Crossman trying to tie him up. Now Makarov with Murphy on his back. Centered Larionov a drive, and that's high and wide. And Canada's Brian Propp drops it to Crossman. And Crossman dumps it in. Sutter racing in with Bedotov. He got a piece of Bedotov, but Bedotov cleared to Makarov. Gilmore couldn't hold it in, and Canada has to go back. Coffey at his own line. Over to Hartsburg. Back to Paul Coffey. Coffey moving in, but Gilmore was in ahead of the play. Offside at the Soviet blue line. This is the Labatt Canada Cup on CTV.
Alan Eagleson on the left of your screen. That's Gunther Sabetsky, the president of the International Ice Hockey Federation, sitting to the Eagles' left, right of your screen. And there's the friendly coach of the Soviet Union, Vladimir Tikhonov, and Viktor Tikhonov, rather. And then Tikhonov, they say, is under a great deal of fire in the Soviet Union, but he is really the victim of the system, which has not produced great players like they did about 10 years ago when all of the Makarovs and Krutovs and Fetisovs came up along with Tretiak.
Soviets leading 3-1. That last scoring play. Svetlov, the short-handed goal. Fetisov and Semyonov, the assists. 8:15 the time. Canada behind 3-1. There's Bork losing to Makarov. Makarov leaves it for Larionov, but it came out of the zone, and they have to drop it back to Pervukin. Now to Krutov. Over to Larionov, number 11. To Krutov. To Makarov. He gets spun around by Bork. Krutov sliding it in. Crossman there for Canada to Gretzky. Fetisov kicks it into the corner. Crossman trying to fire it out on this wing for Lemieux. And number 32. Lemieux feeds Sutter. Sutter into Gretzky. Gretzky trying to center to Sutter. Sutter in front to Gretzky. Now to Rochefort. He's tied up. Penalty coming up to the Soviets. Makarov had Team Canada's player tied up in knots, but it's going to be an interference penalty on an earlier infraction. And I believe it's going to be against Pervukin.
Well, there's a look at Sergei Makarov. You know, you look back in the history of these great Soviet teams, they've always had a terrific left winger. I'll think back to the late 60s, early 70s when they had Yakushev, and then they added, after Yakushev reached the end of his career, Valery Harlamov became the great left winger on the team and a perennial all-star. Now it's Makarov. 8 times in a row, the all-star left winger in the Soviet National League. Take a look at the penalty, the interference right in front of the net as they knocked Lemieux over. Pervukin is going to get the interference penalty, but I think the goaltender probably had more to do that than anything. And so, in any case, Canada goes on a power play once again. It has not been, all things considered, a great power play tonight. Not the way it looked the other night.
They're 0 for 2, and they've given up a shorthanded goal. 10:51, the time of that penalty to Pervukin. Messier, Lemieux, and Gretzky up front. Bork and Coffey the point men. 3-1, the Soviets leading. Here's Coffey over to Bork. Into Mario Lemieux. Trying to drop it back, and Coffey will have to retreat. To Bork. Bekov into Voracek. Stole it. Now Messier breaks up. To Mario Lemieux. Big Mario into Gretzky. Gretzky in front. Messier to Gretzky to Bork. They score! Raymond Bork!
Well, Dan, you described it perfectly. Messier to Gretzky to Bork. Boy, that's nice. Bork playing the zone.
Beautiful.
Yeah. There it is. Back to Gretzky. This can be better. Now the defense completely turned around. Right in front of the net, Kasatonov, who doesn't make that mistake very often. They moved it so quickly. He got his back turned to it. And there was Bork, who was the extra man flooding in front of the net. And Team Canada got a goal they desperately needed.
So that cuts the Soviet lead to 3-2. Now racing back, Stelnov, number 4. Feeding it out to number 16, Svetlov. Svetlov, who's played a prominent part for the Soviets tonight. Leaving it there. Backhand try by Lomakin is blocked, and back comes Canada, led by Bourque. Bourque, who scored the goal, clears it in. Messier digs in, but Semyonov is there, and then a Soviet goal was knocked loose, and that causes a stoppage.
I got a chance to look at this goal from yet another angle with the net off its moorings there. Didn't score it with the net quite in that position. Here's a good view of it now, and again you see it unfold. Watch the defense of the Soviet Union as the puck is moved around. Right through the legs. Now Kasatonov has turned around looking for a puck in a different direction, and Bourque's behind him. And Raymond Bourque.
They announced the goal as Bourque from Gretzky and Mario Lemieux, 11-16, but Messier will get that assist, the other assist in place of Lemieux. It was definitely he that gave it to Gretzky, and Gretzky put it across the crease.
Not only that, Lemieux was the 5th man on the play, not even the 4th man.
3-2, the Soviets' lead has been cut down to. Rochefort shooting it in. Soviets try and clear it. Here's Mario Lemieux, who Claude Lemieux, and off his stick and over the glass and into the crowd.
Yeah, there's the big guy, Mario Lemieux.
Correction on Team Canada's second goal.
There's Mike Keenan. He's trying to keep his defense. They've changed the Messier, given Messier the assist. You know, Mario Lemieux, look at him at 21 years of age, beginning to demonstrate the intensity. Serge Savard said something. He said, I've never seen the guy play as intense a game as he did against the Swedes the other night. The thing that it takes a while to learn is day-to-day intensity in this game. Once you get that, you stay in the league a long time.
Here the Soviets breaking up. Kryakin trying to get through, does. Big save, Pure! On Kryakin, who had walked right through Team Canada's defense, and Pure comes up mid. This is the Labatt Canada Cup on CTV.
Welcome to one of the
Well, Grant Pure may have come. History will tell us that. Up with the save of the night. It could have been disastrous as Kryakin cut right between Murphy and Rochefort. And Kryakin got a good shot away, but coolly picking it out of the air was Pure. That would have been spelled disaster considering the fact that Canada had just come, scored a goal that they desperately needed, and couldn't.
Right now you're seeing a standing ovation for this man, Trachak, and that's quite a compliment when you're in Canada and in Hamilton, Ontario, to get a standing O, and Trachak just did.
I remember a New Year's Eve when Trachak played shutout the Montreal Canadiens as part of the Soviet national team that night. He got standing ovation after standing ovation that night from Montreal fans. He's loved in Canada much as he is in his own country, I think, for the things he's done in this game.
7:50 left in the second period. Canada with Anderson flipping it back of his own goal to Bourque, around to Mike Gartner. Gartner flips it into center ice, and down the ice it goes into the Soviet zone. Bellow shaken, trying to whack it away from Messier. Got some help on the play from Larionov, and it's cleared to center. Now Gartner to Anderson. Anderson into Messier. Messier, wrist shot. Bellow shaken. Got a skate on that. Canada coming on strong. Gartner trying to hold it in, but as it's dropped back, Bourque, it's tied up. Has to clear it over onto the boards. Here comes Glenn Anderson. Anderson leaving it for Gartner. Shooting. Bellow shaken. Save. Rebound. He didn't know where it was as Anderson poked it just wide. Lead pass to Krutov. Crossman intercepting. Fired it back in off Sutter. And the Soviets, Spatisa flips it into center ice. Here's Paul Coffey into Gretzky. Gretzky to Sutter. Sutter couldn't get the shot off. Howard Chuck got tied up. And Krutov clears for the Soviets. Coffey for Canada to Gretzky. Into the zone, but intercepting it, Larionov, and now Kasatonov clears it. Hartsburg racing up on the play. Hartsburg jammed up, and Howard Chuck comes over to help out. To Paul Coffey. Coffey flipping it through. Kasatonov knocked it away. Soviets back on the attack. Trying to center it. In front of the net was Homatop, but he couldn't get a stick on it. It's Homatop still with Coffey tying him up. Now Kamensky in front. Beckhoff a whack at it. Here's Kamensky, number 13. Gretzky tied him up from behind. Coffey clearing it. Gusarov held it in, but now Sutter beats Coffey. Coffey to Gretzky. Cross ice pass. Howard-Chuck moving in. Waits a little too long, trying to get it to Sutter, and Sutter was too well covered. Puck cleared in front. Beloshakin shot it away, and Beckhoff lost it to Gretzky. Now over to Rossmore. Bouncing puck. Rossmore a whack at it. Gretzky behind the net. Gets knocked down, and then the Soviet goal is dislodged, and we get another stoppage. This is the Labatt Canada Cup on CTV.
Well, some newfound aggression on the part of Team Canada. Good aggression. They're going in and forcing the play. Sutter running some interference right in front of the net there. That's on Steldoff. And then pinching in from the point is Rochefort. He gets a chance right at the side of the net. Here he comes, got a whack at it. That was deflected to the side of the net, and then Gretzky right in the middle of it along with Sutter. But you can see they're getting in front of that net now and getting some chances. Pretty good shift there by that line, Gretzky and Sutter.
Now it's Mario Lemieux with Propp on one wing, Claude Lemieux on the other, and breaking away the Soviets with Lomakin. Lomakin, number 23, gets tied up, and number 32, Claude Lemieux, dropping it back to Propp, now to Rochefort. Here's Larry Murphy, number 8 for Canada. Murphy trying to beat it through, broken up by Fedotov. Held in by Claude Lemieux with a shot. Up high off the glass, Semyonov coming up with it, feeds Fedotov, number 14. Fedotov getting it ahead for Lomakin. He gets tied up, and Mario Lemieux back after it. Here's Mario Lemieux. Leaving it for Murphy. Murphy flips it in. Perpukin is there to clear it around, and the Soviets work it out nicely where Semyonov carries to center. Semyonov shot right on, Pure the save. Semyonov taken out by Hartsburg, and Canada drop it behind the net where Gretzky takes over. And now Anderson got pulled down, but play goes right on. Here's Anderson again. Anderson getting it in. Fetisov is there. Lost it to Mario Lemieux. Drop pass to Gartner. Off the blocker of Beloshakin and up into the crowd. This is the Labatt Canada Cup on CTV.
4 minutes, 3 seconds.
Well, we mentioned that Claude Lemieux pays a bit of a price when he plays this game. He also gives a price. You play him, there's a little shot. They're holding onto his stick a little bit. Omalov, and onto the bench, and I'll take a little rest. As I say, he pays a dear price to pay the game, but he makes the other people pay as well. He never, ever fails to finish a check. It's one of the reasons why he's on this team.
4:03 left in the second period. Doug Gilmour winning a face-off, but the Soviets control it and clear it to center. Gartner knocks it down. He fires it back in. Fetisov there to pick it up. Gilmour almost stole it, and now it's carried out by the Soviets. Here's Perpukin. Perpukin. Priyakin now in the corner, can't center it, and Coffey has it. Here's Priyakin again. And Coffey comes back for Canada to Gartner. Gartner battling on the boards with Perpukin. Now centered, nobody there, and Canada take over. Here's Anderson. Ahead to Gilmour. Gilmour takes the pass, but it's called back on a two-line offside, and the face-off will come into just inside Team Canada's blue line.
Well, you want to look at long shots making Team Canada. There's one, despite his 100 points last year. Doug Gilmour from Kingston, Ontario, played his junior hockey in Cornwall. He's a teammate of Dale Howard-Chuck for 1 year there. That Cornwall team won a Memorial Cup. He's become an excellent player, and you see a lot of them.
Night in, night out, he had an outstanding year last season. Great competitor. Here's Crossman for Canada. Flips it ahead to Claude Lemieux. He charges in. Beloshakin out to clear it. Bourque holding it in, shoots. Saved by Bellows-Shaken with that blocker again. Now Messier in the corner. Mark Messier held in by Propp. Claude Lemieux tried for the deflection, but was too well checked by Gusarov. Now Claude Lemieux battling Gusarov. Stelnov back of the net. Tries to clear it, and Makarov can't get it out of there. Makarov tries again. This time carries up. Makarov tied up by Messier, leaving it for Larionov. And Bourque is there defensively. He gives it to Doug Crossman. Crossman to Propp to Messier. Messier into Propp. Shoots up high and wide. Crossman at the point. Flips it into Propp. Propp trying to get it in front. Gusarov cleared it. Now Brent Sutter. But intercepting is Fedotov. And the Soviets get it to center ice. Krutov, number 9. Leaving for Makarov. Moving in. Fuhr a pad save on that as Makarov shot it right at him. Howard-Chuck trying to clear it. Here's Pervukin. To Larionov. Dropping it back, and Fedotov at the point misplayed it. Has to hustle back. Now Howard-Chuck picking it up into Brent Sutter. Sutter to Crossman. He missed it. And it's poked out of there by Krutov. And Canada has to go back. Coffey firing it into center ice. Sutter to Crossman. Into the zone. Yemchinov clears it back up. Canada controlling with Paul Coffey. Long pass to Gretzky. Gretzky to Brent Sutter. Sutter couldn't get the shot off. Pervukin ties him up. Now Brent Sutter gets mashed in against the boards by Pervukin. And the puck comes loose, and the Soviets carry out of there. Kamensky leaving it for Bekov. Shot blocked at the defense on a good play by Hartsburg. Right back the other way comes Gartner. Fakes the shot, trying to give it to Coffey. Bekov has it for the Soviets. Gets help from Kamensky. He gets knocked down by Gartner. Now Lemieux into Gartner in the corner. Held in by Murphy at the point. Murphy to Mario Lemieux. We're in the final minute of the second period. Coffey shot deflected. Here's Murphy pinching in. He gets bumped by Fetisov, who's lost his helmet. Canada center. Gardner panned on it at the edge of the crease. And Homatov, number 15, fires it out for the Soviets. Bekov over onto the wing. Kamensky now centered. Bekov is there. A whack at it, but Mario Lemieux cleared it away. We're in the final minute as Claude Lemieux played it off the boards for Anderson. Wayne Anderson moving in, trying to leave it there. Now slides it to Mario Lemieux. He got it in front, but Kasatonov feeds it out. And here comes Svetlov. Dropping to Lomakin. Shoots one. That's deflected. Lomakin into the corner, gets ridden out. And we're going to get a penalty here against Canada and against Claude Lemieux, who now comes over and gives Lomakin a push, and Lomakin high sticks him right back. And Lemieux has been cut and is down on the ice.
Well, Lemieux laid the cross-check on first, and then I think he was trying to get Lomakin to go off with him. And Lomakin, not very Soviet-like, retaliated, and the stick came down. And Lemieux is indicating, at least, that he's been cut. And I think probably he's talked the Soviet player into a penalty. We'll see what Noah says. There's the cross-check. That drew the penalty. Now he knows he's got the penalty. Now, turn around. Now he's going to give him a little shot as he steps up. Lomakin. Lomakin turns and brings the stick down. Now it's been a chippy kind of a game. Had fewer incidents in the second period than in the first. Lemieux is definitely getting a penalty. Both gates are open, so Lomakin retaliated, and so Lemieux did his job, I guess. Again, we'll see it. There's the cross-check. No doubt about that at all. And the hand of Noeth is up for the cross-check. Now Lemieux, boy, he is a needler. I mean, you just love to hate him. Lemieux he just gets everybody angry. I've never heard, maybe Dale Hunter of the Quebec Nordiques, now of the Washington Capitals, gets people more upset than Claude Lemieux.
2 minutes for cross-checking.
Lemieux gets a cross-checking penalty.
50 seconds. La punition de l'équipe Canada au numéro 32, Claude Lemieux. 2 minutes pour doubler sec à 19 minutes 50 secondes.
They've just announced the one penalty.
What's the referee's whistle here? I don't know. I think the stick did it. Although he's wearing a face mask. Watch the whistle. Watch the left hand of the referee. And we're watching the referee or the linesman there.
Kevin Collins, the linesman.
Collins, all right. Well, in any case. Anyway, the stick came down, and he's wearing a face mask. I don't know how he could have been cut with the stick coming down that way.
Now they're announcing the penalty to Lomax.
2 minutes for high-sticking.
A high-sticking penalty. So Lemieux did what he set out to do. He brought a guy out with him. All comes with 10 seconds left here in the second period, by the way.
Now, Tikhonov is going to be a little upset at Lomakin, who's a young player for this team. He's the one, by the way, Lomakin, who, if we ever get a shot of him, has got a 10-stitch cut across his face. That was from a slash across the face, a deliberate act by Gary Suter of Team USA, the Calgary Flames defenseman, who just really nailed him and drew a 5-minute major on the play.
Not going to get a shot of him here because he's already gone to the locker room.
There it is. Matter of fact, both have.
Canada in this period, by the way, have outshot the Soviets 13-8. But they're trailing 3-2.
See big Kazatonov there, and that's, of course, Fetisov at the bench. Boy, that guy seemed to lose his verve for the game. He was in a serious car accident in the off-season that killed his brother. He survived. He just didn't seem to be the same player for a couple of years. Boy, he's playing a great game tonight.
Each team will be a man short. 10 seconds left in the second period. 3-2, the Soviets leading. Semyonov against Messier on a face-off at Team Canada's blue line. And immediately the Soviets control. Stelnov to Gusarov. The Svetlov back to the defenseman Stelnov, who lets a long one go. Yor made the save, and right there the buzzer goes to end the second period. And after 2 periods, it is the Soviets 3, Team Canada 2 here at the Copps Coliseum in Hamilton. Stay with us for our intermission. This is the Labatt Canada Cup on CTV.